And good evening. Welcome to another edition of Coach's Corner here on the Highlander Activity Network as we are dwindling down. I figure we got maybe 2 shows left, possibly, here left in the year because it's almost done.
It is.
The year
isn't
gone gone by fast. So we're going to start off with Valley City Highlander track and field coach Trevor Bacalar joining us, and I guess we'll start off with the blue and white. Not blue and white. That's cross country in the fall.
Cross country.
This is the Bill Jansen last chance. Last chance meet, and good day, beautiful day.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
And we got 3 more state qualifiers.
We did. It was, yeah. I mean, the weather was definitely on our side. You know, it was a great meet. A lot of kids there at that meet. Ran through it pretty well. I thought we were pretty efficient on most things. We had just that one little hiccup with that hurdle race, but that got corrected. And even that group of kids there were so close. I mean, almost qualifying. You know, we had Isaac Norby that was just I was just hoping for that kid.
It was just a few tenths of a second.
Yeah, right. And so, but yeah, in that first one, they all made it.
They all qualified.
Overall, yeah, great meet. You know, 23 personal records. We had 31 kids place in that meet. Handed out medals to top 3, so they were all pretty happy to get some hardware walking away. A lot of the other kids from other schools too.
Yeah.
Many meets we go to, they don't really do that kind of thing anymore, ribbons or stuff, but a few meets they hand stuff out, and so it was really, even the throwers got medals in the throwers relay, so they were pumped to walk away with those. But
well, I watched our guys in the throwers relay. Got some speed there.
You know,
as soon as Zach got the baton, he was off.
You know, many of those guys used to be sprinters.
Yeah.
And then they got a little big, so
big and strong.
Yeah,
not slow.
No, they can still run pretty well. Yeah, absolutely.
And again, in the 100, Parker takes another 4/100ths of a second off and moves into 5th place.
Yeah, he bettered his time, which was really nice. You know, and then we had Lainey, my daughter. She jumped up on the long jump with her 17.1 and a half there. So it was good. Got her qualified in a different event. It's always nice. You take kids for relays, but when they can get those individual events, it's nice for them to be able to focus on something else as well. So.
You know, it's like in wrestling, you go as a team, but then it's kind of cool if you can get in there and you get into that state individually. Morgan Larson, boy, great race.
Cruised.
12.96 in her 100.
Yeah, she was moving. I was on the other side of the track moving hurdles, and I saw her take off, and I said, holy, she's still going. And so it was good. It was good. Yeah, she's progressively just gotten better and better and starting to figure out, you know, the races. Obviously some training, you know, that helps too as you get going through the season. But she's done phenomenal, you know, and staying healthy. So that's the key thing you go through the season. So
that is key.
Right. And
I've got a question about health that I'll to ask you here in a minute. And Greta Govan gets into the 1600.
Yeah, we've been waiting on that one. So and she has too, but now she's kind of put that behind her and said, whew. So now she's going to get to go to regionals, you know, and that pressure's off. Yeah. And now you can just focus on your races and trying to better your times and some other things. So.
Speaking of that, this is something that I thought about. You have someone, you know, in professional sports, you see teams that qualify for the playoffs. They're going to rest their studs. They're going to rest their big players and let them take a few games off to get ready for the playoffs. Now you see some of these athletes qualify for state. They're in, but they don't want to take. They could take meets off if they want, but they don't. Are they trying to improve their time, to improve their standing where they're going to start at a state meet?
Yeah, you know, part of it is you want to have your better time because as you get there, you're going to have lane preferences, and that's big, right? Being on the outside and have everybody chasing you, or you're more on the inside and you get to chase, you know, other people. So some of that helps, especially with some of those curve running and things like that. But yeah, bettering your time so that you can maybe move up. If there's 2 heats, now you're in the first instead of the second, you know, vice versa. And you want to make sure that you're at your top form, but you don't want to completely rest, you know, as they say, but you'd like to keep those kids active as much as you can, but we like to change up events a little bit. So sometimes the distance kids might do a few sprint races at a meet. You know, we're going to change it up and do some different things to just keep them active, or cut back and say, hey, we'll just focus on this one, this meet, this race, this meet, where a lot of times we go and do 2 or 3 events.
Right.
Yeah.
And I suppose if you move into a different heat, a faster heat, that might help you a little bit because you're going up against some pretty good athletes.
Yeah, and that is, and we've watched that, especially, you know, Parker, you know, through the years. So he's, you know, 4 or 5, and now, you know, and then he's like 3. and then he's 2, and now he's in that first heat, and he's got the preferred lane now, so he's not, on the outside. So yeah, progressively that happens, and now you'll get you go to state too, and then those kids with those better times, especially when they're all starting, where you're at, and then you get that break line. If you're on the outside, it's harder to get to the edge. So there's some strategy involved in those things. Yes, yeah.
Things that us novice people don't think about.
So, but
I thought it was just running.
yeah. That's a huge part of it. That's a huge part of it when you talk. But there is strategy. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. EDC this week under the East Region meet. I believe that's at North Dakota State.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice to be at a neutral site there, and they've got such a great facility to host it. It's good for all the fans too, where a lot of people will be able to see because they do a lot of the throwing on the inside, and then with the jumping, it's gonna be great. It looks like it's gonna be a nice day. And so it's going to be a busy, long day, but it's really good. I know the kids are prepared. They're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to it as coaches. And again, we're trying to get a few more athletes if we can into the state meet. So top 6 make it, to state. So whether they make that distance or time, they still get to go. But they still got a chance too. I've told those kids you can finish 10th. Right, and as long as you make that distance or time, you still get to go. So that's really your last chance. So the last chance was for some kids end of the season. Yeah, that was the last meet for about a third of the kids.
Right.
That ended their season, unfortunately. But now we have that group that earned that, one more chance to do it that haven't qualified yet.
Well, then that'll be coming up this weekend, and then in next week it'll be at the state competition that is at the Bismarck Bowl. The Community Bowl out in Bismarck, and that's a great venue for track.
Oh, it is. It is. We look forward to that every year, getting out there, getting our tent set up, finding our spot, getting comfortable with the chairs, because it's really nice as a coach at that point, too, because you're coaching, but you're really, you're a spectator, because we're not allowed on the infield. We're not allowed to go into those areas. Field event coaches can be there, and you can go around, but no, you can't. You can't be on the infield with the kids. You can't be down there doing a lot of things. So it's a lot of ownership on them, and you watch, and you get to watch a lot of great kids across the whole state compete, which is really nice.
One question I was going to ask you at the Bill Jansen, talking with your 2 workers up in the booth, and we were just kind of discussing this. All of your coaches were working the meet, so kids don't get any coaching really during this meet, but at this stage of the game they really shouldn't need a whole lot of coaching, should they?
No. And that was actually mentioned in there by a few other people that were there. They said, well, this meet doesn't seem as crazy as the other meet. Well, they went to the junior high meet, right? And you got a lot
That's
of
like
kids around.
Cats.
Yeah. No, at this point of the season there, a lot of the kids have been to so many meets. They know what's going on. They know the routine. They know what they should have to do. And we don't get a chance to see everything that they're doing. We're working, unfortunately, but you do what you can when you see the kids and talk to them when you can. The coaches working those events get to, coach those kids a little bit as they're going. But afterward, it's a lot of, so how'd you do today? Or I go home, and it's nice with that athletic.net because I can sit there and I can see everything, see what everybody did, and then when we get these results, then you really see a picture of, holy cow. I knew that we had a few personal records, but not that many. Yeah, right? I was like, wow, we did pretty good. So it was a good day. It was really good. I wish we could do more of them. So the weather just didn't work out this year.
Not this year, it did not. But now again, this week at North Dakota State, and again, is it next week that they got to declare now what they're going to do when they get to that state competition? That'll be Tuesday or Wednesday of next week.
Yeah, Tuesday there. Yeah, we'll get. So we'll sit down after regionals here, and we'll see really what where kids sit, and then what they'd like to do, and then we'll start looking at. Really, we only got a couple kids in that situation, and we'll see what they choose, and then we'll choose for them. So no.
How about?
It's right, and you sometimes you got to talk to those kids and actually give them that whole picture, because you might like that race, but okay, let's be realistic. What can we do? And that's going to earn you possibly getting onto the podium or moving on to the finals, right? Give yourself the best chance to compete. And then you got to look at the schedule. You don't want to conflict events and things like that. And so sometimes it could be a lot.
There's some thought going.
There is a little bit of strategy.
Right,
Yes. Yeah. But for the most part, it's pretty well laid out, and the kids get to go compete and have fun and do what they like to enjoy.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens after this weekend, and we'll with the state competition again coming up next week, and that's 2 days, Thursday, actually 3 days.
3 days.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, because I think the 3200 is run on Thursday.
Yeah, and so it's
So you got Reagan right away if she's into 3200.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll
worry
see.
about that next
we'll
week.
see. Yeah, we'll see.
But that's a 3-day event. So you drop anchor in Bismarck for a few days.
Yeah, we'll leave. We'll probably leave Thursday around 10 or 11 o'clock, and then get to the track, and we're there that evening. Go to bed, get up, do it again the next day, and then do it again. So, right.
Let's hope we're there a long time and get a lot of finals.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we want to be. We want to have a busy day on Saturday.
Actually, exactly. I don't want to write my story on Friday. I want to write it Sunday.
Yeah, so that would be good.
Right.
That would be good.
Trevor, again, appreciate it, and we'll talk to you again after state.
Thank you.
You bet. Coach Trevor Bachelor joining us from Highlander Track. We'll be back with more Coach's Corner here from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here on Coach's Corner here on the Highlander Activity Network, and I tell you what, Monday and Tuesday was great days to be Highlanders. Everybody's winning. We have a great couple of days here in Valley City. And baseball last night took on Grand Fork Central and came up with a 2-1 victory in a pitcher's duel. And we're joined by head coach Seth Soderholm, assistant coach Alex Cleaver, who works with the junior varsity. And we'll talk a little bit with Alex here momentarily about the JV, because I don't think their season's quite done. I think you've got a tournament this week at Fargo South. Yep. So we'll discuss that momentarily. But Seth, last night, we've talked about how strong Ethan has been pitching last night. How efficient, 85 pitches in 7 innings, 60-some strikes. He was really on last night.
Yeah, absolutely. He threw the ball really well. He was pretty much in control the whole game, it seemed like. I think they only had, 3 hits?
2 hits.
2 hits.
Is what I had him for,
2 hits. 9 strikeouts, 85 pitches in 7 innings, only a couple walks. It's a pretty good day. Like I said, he was in control the whole time. There wasn't really ever a doubt, what to do.
We were really hoping to go a full game without an error.
Yeah.
We thought somebody that's 6'5" can keep their foot on the bag at first base, but apparently not.
Yeah. Or a catcher's interference.
Or a catcher's. That's what it was. It was a catcher's interference, right?
Yeah. You don't really expect that to be. You expect the game to be over there. Everyone else kind of did, and it was like, oh yeah, I could hear it too. I get it.
Yep. Okay, it works. But still, a victory, 2-1. Got some timely hits. Last night, when Corbin Powell had the RBI single that brought in 1 run, got helped by a wild pitch that got some runners in scoring position. Just nice to get a W in your last home game of the season.
Yeah, it was well. And we only scored 2 runs, but we did have a lot of loud outs too. We talked about that after the game. We had a lot of barreled outs, hit a lot of balls hard at guys. I don't think Will Schwer has hit a ball ever that hard that he hit to center field, and center fielder made a few great plays. So it could have been, we could have scored some more, but obviously if we win, it's a good day. Ethan was great on the mound. Defense backed him up. He, taking care of 9 outs yourself helps too.
Right.
It's less pressure on the defense. But yeah, overall it was a good night.
And of course, James Schwer playing third base. As I don't know if those glasses got shattered or what, but talked to his mom today. He's no headache. He's doing fine. But that was kind of a scary moment when you get a nasty hop like that.
Call it the hot corner for a reason.
Yeah, and you're a third baseman too.
Yeah, especially for a kid who broke his nose last spring playing. It was kind of tough, but I don't think I've ever seen someone's sunglasses explode from a ground ball. That was the first time I've ever seen that. Luckily, it got the bill of his hat a little bit first. So
because it kind of clipped the hat, then hit where the crown and the bill meet. But everything's okay, but it was just like, ooh. You get nervous when you see a ball go towards a guy's head.
And you see debris go flying everywhere too.
Right.
That doesn't help.
You're waiting to see them go up to one knee, and then you start to worry. But everything came out all right. But victory now, and now you got Devils Lake to wrap up the season here on Thursday.
Yeah, doubleheader against Devils Lake. JV varsity each got 2. They're a tough team. I think they're sitting 3 right now. Mm-hmm. They're having a good season. They win a lot of games. They can swing it for sure on offense. So we're gonna have Carver on the mound first one. Hopefully he can keep their timing off and keep us in the game.
And I think they redid their field, the Legion field that they have out there.
Yeah, they turfed it. They didn't play any games on it last year. Might not have played any on it the year before too. Mm-hmm. But they did a full infield turf, new dugouts, I believe, new grandstand. They kind of did the whole works. I think they're working on their cages right now. Their coach texted me, so they're doing a lot there. It's good to see.
It's always a good baseball town too. Devils Lake is a good baseball town. And now moving to the future Highlanders, the junior varsity. Alex Kleber joining us, and your thoughts just on this season, Alex, and how the junior varsity did.
Yeah, so especially having some JV kids, right? We're not getting as many reps and stuff like that, and we talked about that at the beginning of the year, and what that was going to be like, and what the future of the season's going to be like. And we started off pretty slow. We were rusty. We were rusty a little bit too long into the season, I thought. But last week we were able to put some quality time in with those guys and starting to play well at the right time. And I think that showed last night, especially our bottom of the order, bottom guys of our order. Our top of the order has been producing, and we've kind of struggled into that bottom of the order part. And last night it was 1 through 9, and our defense was stellar, and we're just playing well at the right time, and it's starting to turn our way.
A lot of these kids, I'm guessing, probably played Babe Ruth last summer and had the success with that Babe Ruth. And how did that, being a baseball guy pretty much all your life, transcends from what you did last summer into a spring?
I think it's very important, especially to end on a state run, that you have that success and you know that you're capable of reaching those limits. And I think it turns into seeing past those limits, right? You get to the state tournament and you see what you're capable of, but what's that next step of taking that next step? And getting on to that JV level of playing some guys that are older than that Babe Ruth level age, and learning how to lose, and then getting to the end of the season and learning how to win. Mm-hmm. And once you learn how to win, that it's piecing it together and taking that next step, not only physically and playing wise, but mentally, and being able to believe in yourself and believe in your teammates, most importantly. And we've talked about that too, as the mental aspect of it. And we've grown up a lot this season for sure. And not to say it again, but we are playing well at the right time.
And now you got a tournament coming up this weekend. It's kind of basically like an EDC tournament because all 12 EDC teams will be there at Fargo South. Do you know who's in your pool? I'm not going to put you on the spot, but I kind of looked it up beforehand. But
I don't as of right now.
It's West Fargo and Red River.
Okay,
that's right. Because those are who we play Friday, and then Saturday is determined after that small pool, and then we'll see what seeding we get, and then we'll cross pools after that.
Okay.
And I guess with that being said, we did play West Fargo tough, and the wheels kind of fell off into that third, fourth inning, and lost that one. Red River was a team that I thought we should have beat, and we were in that game deep into it, and we had our chances, but ball went the other way, and Red River took us from that one. And I think tomorrow's going to be a good tune-up to what we did last night, and tomorrow's going to solidify some things, and I'm confident going into Friday as well.
What does this team do well, Alex? What's the strength of this group?
I think that our top of the order gets on base, and with our bottom order starting to hit the ball and just put the ball in play. That's what started it off last night. We limited our strikeouts last night, and that was able to, give us some runs and give us some leeway on defense. And when we did get up early, I was thinking, all right, we got some comfort. We might give them a couple. And then when we did that, we did give them a couple nice hits into center and to left field, put them up 4-1 last night. And the big thing was, how are we going to handle that, right? Going back to the mental aspect of it. And we, our bottom of the order guys got on for the top. And I think the top of the order hits the ball really well. A lot of good hitters, hard hitters. They hit the ball well, hit it hard. And just really becoming more well-rounded. I think that they're doing a lot of things really well.
You saw a lot of confidence improvement throughout the year?
Yes, to the max. And I think last night, and being able to see that, putting in that work and then being able to see it happen is a big thing for our guys.
Well, like this weekend, and that's kind of a question for both of you, with this being a conference tournament, you're going to see, at least for one more year, your opponents. These are going to be guys you're going to be playing next year. So is it a good barometer of what you can expect in 2024?
Yeah, and I think that's the nice thing about it is, we are young. We're very young, and those other teams are a little bit older than us. So I think being able to see them when we are young and being able to, have some success against these guys, it should be leading more confidence into the summer and then rolling it around again in the next spring.
How about arms pitching with this junior varsity team?
Yeah, we've really developed throughout the year. We've had some of our younger guys step up into bigger positions. James Schwer threw the ball really well last night. Leighton Hendrickson started the game. If we weren't playing tomorrow and this weekend, he probably would have thrown the whole game. Brody Mueller is just a guy that throws it kind of from that. I wouldn't even say it's a three-quarter slot. I'd say it's a halfway sidearm slot. And he threw really well for us last night, just a freshman. And being able to throw strikes at this time of the year is the most important thing.
At this level of baseball, if you can just putting bat on ball, because, they say you put bat on ball, three things can happen, two are good.
Yeah.
And as a pitcher, you throw strikes, your defense is going to be on the balls of your feet. We saw that last night with Ethan.
Yeah.
Your pitcher throwing strike, those guys are going to be ready to defend.
Yeah, and on Monday we really challenged them. We did a little 21 outs, and we challenged them. We hit gaps, we made them run for it, put them in tough positions, and they handled it well. And I think that gave our pitchers last night some confidence that this defense can make plays, and that's what they did last night.
Surprising the season's already over? Kind of went fast,
didn't
it?
Yeah. I mean, once it gets going, it gets going. That's kind of the common thing with spring in North Dakota. Once you can play, it's nonstop until the end.
Obviously, it looks like mathematically no EDC for the Highlanders this year, but you want to go out strong. You got the win last night. You got Devils Lake. Maybe ruin their party.
I was
going to
say we can kind of affect other seeding. If we can, I don't know who's behind them, but knock them out of a home EDC playoff game. It's stuff like that you just gotta kind of buy into. It's unfortunate the situation we're in, but you got to make the best of it. Trying to finish strong leading into summer is kind of our goal right now. Obviously we want to win every game, but we want to be playing our best when summer comes around. We're playing teams a little bit more our size that'll help out a little bit.
Well, it's been an interesting year. I mean, a lot of close games. I mean, this team is just like, that close.
Yep.
A miscue here, a miscue there, and it's a different story than the record would indicate. Positives for you, Seth, as you look back on these 11 games.
Yeah, we we had a lot of younger guys step up. We had two freshmen that pretty much started consistently. We had a freshman, at least one, start every game. You know, Andrew Sikora started the year. Unfortunately, he got a concussion a couple weeks ago, but James Schwer stepped in. You know, they've both done a great job. You know, it's tough to remember, like, they're still freshmen.
Right.
Like, you got to remember what it's like when you're 15 years old. You know, it's a lot different. You know, you're a lot younger, you're a lot less mature physically and mentally. You know, dealing with failure and stuff. Like when you're younger, it's a little bit harder. You're a little less seasoned. So like stuff like that has helped a lot. We've got a lot of guys in, like I said, that haven't previously had varsity roles that hopped in and won a spot basically. You know, like Bodie Haglund didn't play any varsity last year.
Yep.
Trevor Fetch didn't play much varsity last year. Those guys hopped in, did a great job, and kind of laid a good foundation for their class and for the future of the team.
Yeah, they had 5 seniors that wrapped up their home career last night, and they've been, 3 years. Most of them have been with you for all 3 of your years.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great group of kids. Like you said, I've coached them for 3 years now, and I mean, some of them more really with Legion and stuff. But yeah, I mean, like I said, Ethan was an all EDC guy when he was a sophomore, and here he is senior year, 1.7 ERA in the EDC. Like that's not easy to do. He threw the ball great this year. Carver pitched well. Will didn't pitch as much as we planned, but he still played a good left field for us, and came up with some hits here and there. Those are guys. You can just pencil them in every game. You know where they're going to play, and they're going to compete.
Do you get, as your junior varsity coach, last question for you, Alex, getting these guys ready for that varsity? So they had a chance that they're in the dugout, they see how fast it is and the speed of that varsity. Is that something that you really preach to them? Is you got to watch what's going on here, guys?
Yeah, I think that's a big point. Big point in practice is watching that guy that plays your position, right? Seeing what he does well, seeing what he does bad. And just being able to learn a little thing each day from them, and trying to be able to apply that to your game earlier on when you're an 8th grade freshman, sophomore, and being able to apply that to yourself now, so that when you do get into that sophomore, junior, senior role playing varsity, you got that in your tool bag.
Well, the season wrapping up tomorrow with Devils Lake, varsity, junior varsity doubleheader. They're both getting 2 games tomorrow.
Yep.
So lots more baseball for these guys in Devils Lake. But gentlemen, appreciate you joining us tonight. And
thank you.
We will chat again. It's Seth Soderholm and Alex Kleber from Valley City Highlander Baseball. We'll be back with more Coach's Corner here from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here at Coach's Corner on the Highlander Activity Network as we wrap up tonight's program. Only a couple more shows left to go after tonight. And next up, we're going to talk tennis. A sad state of affairs with Highlander tennis. To an EDC championship, beating Cheyenne last night. Are you okay today?
Yeah, we're all right today. We're all right. No, it was no, we had a huge week since we talked last. So on Wednesday we talked. Thursday we went out and Red River came to town. And we didn't have Breck up top. We kept her out of that one, and it almost came back to bite us in the rear end. Like, we got down to 4-4, and it went Addie Lohman at number 1 singles wins the second set tiebreak against Kaylee, and then Kaylee had to grind out a third set, and it was one of those marathons. It was 4 o'clock when Addie Lohman started. She had just a little bit of a break, and it was 8:45 when they finally came off the court. And you actually were able to come up to that one after when you got done with everything else for the day. You're like, I wonder if tennis is still going. Yep, we got another 45 minutes of tennis left for you. But no, Kaylee pulled that one out to keep us undefeated on the year. Friday was 2 matches against the West teams, and we played Dickinson first, and we tried our 7th grader Lexi Sweningson with Abby Martinick, and it was 2-2, and we had to win that match to win the overall match against Dickinson, and went to a third set, and we get down 9-7 in the super tiebreak, and you go to 10.
Right.
So Dickinson literally had 2 points to beat them and then to beat the Highliners. We not only win those 2, but we win the very next 2 points after that, seal the match off. So like we've been playing some clutch tennis, and that kept us undefeated on the year. And then Mandan's is 7-2 in the WDA.
Okay.
Beat them 4-1. So that was a good match by our kids right after we beat Dickinson. And then the next day we went to the Cheyenne Invite, which all 20 teams from the state go there. We ended up finishing 6th, but we never go for points. We go with what do our kids need, what do we need going into regionals, who wants to play together, who wants to do some singles. Like we never go into that tournament going, how do we win the most points? No, that's not our goal. Our goal is to set our kids up for success. So Breck and Abby went 1 doubles, and they made it to the championship. And first set, Dickinson was on fire. Second set, we were on fire. Like they were hitting the ball hard, hitting it consistent. And then we went to a third set tiebreak, and Dickinson clipped us. They're a good team. We beat them 6-3, 7-5 last year in the state semifinals. Same team, and these 2 are heavy hitters. So I mean, Breck and Breck and Abby are the state champs from last year, but it's not like anything is a given this year. Like they're going to have to beat really good teams this year, and that Dickinson team is extremely tough. So it's going to be a lot of fun seeing if we can navigate that. Then at 2 doubles, Kaylee and Georgia just dominated the whole bracket. They dropped no games in the first match, 1 game in the second match, no games in the third match, and they went to the championship. And I think they were just kind of a little too loosey-goosey into that one because they didn't play to attack. And what happened was we get down 5-2, and then we just couldn't come back. In the next set, they literally dropped only 2 points. They locked in and just didn't lose anything. Went to the super tiebreak and won it 10-1. Like just crazy how great a tennis they played there to win that draw. And then the other one, so Alyssa and Lexi got a win at number 3 doubles. Ella Olson got a win at number 2 singles. But I think the surprise of the day was Sky. She's at number 5. She plays the number 1 spot at the West Fargo Invite, where there's a lot of number 1s from around the state who are playing in the 1 draw.
Okay.
So she loses the first match to Bismarck Legacy's number 3. She comes back, and she lost to Red River's number 4 on Thursday, beats Red River's number 2 in the consolation draw. She then beats Bismarck High's number 1 player, who has a winning record on the year out west. Then she beats the same Bismarck Legacy girl she lost to in the first round, so it was a rematch, and she pulled that one off. And then she got into the 5th place match where she played Maddie Staus from Central, which is a excellent player. And Sky kind of ran out of gas after playing that much, and Staus is a really good player. So I mean, it's just crazy that a Valley City number 5 player can take number 6 at First Flight singles in a tournament that includes 20 teams. So that was the surprise of the tournament. But everybody did well, and then we had a good practice Monday, and then Tuesday that was the match. On Tuesday it was we had Cheyenne, and we beat Davies 5-4, and we could have lost that one. Davies beat Cheyenne 5-4. So going into yesterday, any one of the 3 teams still had a shot of being the EDC titleist, and our doubles came out just on point. Like Breck and Abby played Durrani and Sommerfeld, and Durrani and Sommerfeld were undefeated on the year, and Abby and Breck are undefeated on the year. So it's 2 undefeateds going. This is the match to like when we go into the region tournament, we're going to seed it. Like that's the match that who's going to be the 1 seed, and Breck and Abby, they were able to pull that one off in 2 sets. Kaylee and Georgia at 2 doubles. Played the odds-on favorite probably to win the state title. I mean, Felderman out in Mandan, she's last year's state titleist. I mean, she could win it. McCormick from Davies can win it. But Goo's she's improved a ton and was playing at 2 doubles against us with their number 4 player. And Kaylee and Georgia dominated the entire match. They were attacking the entire time. They were hitting winners at the net. Even against Goo in the back, like they were out playing Goo in the back during that match. Like it was excellent doubles, and we won that one 6-2, 6-1. And then Sky and Alyssa, they have we only have 1 doubles loss in the EDC all year, and it was Sky and Alyssa against Davies. Sky and Alyssa against Cheyenne get down. I think they got down 4-3 in the first set. Came back, won the first set, and then won the second set pretty handily. And they played the best match together they have all year. So we're up 3-0. Going into the singles, Georgia wins pretty easily. So now we have 4 wins. 4 wins, yeah. 4 wins. So Ella had a tough draw at 6 with Malk. Malk was a good player, so we lost one there. Breck, she played a good doubles match, but couldn't get going. Couldn't go the singles with medical, so she had a default at 1. So we got 2 losses, and then Shireen's a really good player for Cheyenne at 3, and Abby Martinick. Kind of got pulled up, and then Shireen wouldn't miss a lob. So Abby wasn't able to play her game because Shireen's lob game was just too good that day. So we're at 3 there. So it's 4-3, and then it came down to Kaylee and Sky were right next to each other on the new Parks and Rec courts, which everybody still appreciates. Everybody loves Valley City's high school courts because you get to sit and watch, and everybody's now loving the Parks and Rec 3 courts because you get to sit on the inside, and you don't have to look through a fence to watch your kids play or look through a windscreen at all. So everybody's loving it. So as Kaylee and Sky next to each other, and Alyssa Sommerfeld took 6th place in singles last year at the state tournament. Kaylee's playing her, and Kaylee, that Red River match, Kaylee just lobbed it, right? And she could play the lob game better than Lohman from Red River and ended up winning that match. Well, this was awesome for Kaylee because Sommerfeld wouldn't get into that type of match and started trying to hit a corner and then come into the net. And then Kaylee was hitting passing shots. So Kaylee probably hit more winners against her than she's hit the entire season in singles because the girl came to the net, which then forced Kaylee to do something
else.
Otherwise, if you're just going to play back, Kaylee's just going to she's gonna lob it up, but when you force it, she has the game to hit winners. So Kaylee was able to win that second set 6-1, which clinched the UDC title for us. And then Sky was like, well, I won too. I go, you didn't clinch it though, Sky.
Yeah,
you got to clinch it last year when we were at Cheyenne because it was 4-4 and you were out there, but no, Kaylee clinched it there. And then Sky ended up winning a match against a good opponent too by attacking. So we won that one 6-3. Which puts us at 10-0 on the season, and it doesn't matter what happens tomorrow against Wahpeton because even if we lose, we'd still have the same number of losses as Davies. But since we beat Davies, we'd have the head-to-head. So we are the EDC champions. So we're going to take. They don't have many. They only have like 11 kids on their team. So we're actually going to take 2 vans down to play Wahpeton tomorrow, and then our JV junior high is going to go to Discovery Middle School so they can get a ton of matches because it wouldn't make sense to bring 26 kids to play 10 or 11 kids on 6 courts. Let's take 11 kids to play 11 kids, and then let's send the other 15 of our kids to Fargo Discovery, and that way they're going to play a ton of matches tomorrow. So our JV is going to have that, and then after that match is done, we'll have practice Friday, and then our JV season will be done on Saturday. They have a JV the JV Regionals, which is hosted by Fargo Davies, and that'll be in Fargo, and it's at 3 sites. And it's kind of like a West Fargo invite kind of a thing. There'll be 4 flights of singles, 3 flights of doubles, double elimination, so they get a tournament atmosphere on Saturday, and once that's done, the JV's done, and then next week we'll practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for regionals, and then regionals will be in Fargo on Thursday. And since we're the 1 seed, we get to be inside at Courts Plus. Right. So we'll have that on Thursday, and then the individual tournament will go Friday, Saturday.
And it's you talk about tomorrow. The mindset is we want to go undefeated, isn't it? With this group of young ladies. So yes, we clinch it great, but let's go out 10-0. Let's go out and clinch it with a 0 in the L column.
Yep. Let's go out there tomorrow. And the big thing is to play our game. When we played Fargo South, we knew that they were a little down, and I wanted our kids to play at our level against Fargo South, and they did. Yeah. And tomorrow's going to be the same thing. Like Wahpeton is 0-11 on the year. Like No, you go out and you play Highliner tennis and you play the game the right way, and let's do things the right way, because no one wants anybody to rub anything in anybody's face or
Right,
start
right.
hitting trick shots or just not caring out there. No, that's
Yeah.
not how you do it. I've seen teams do it. We don't do it that way. They didn't do. Our kids did a great job against Fargo South, doing everything the right way, correct way, the sporting way. And I know our kids will do that tomorrow. And if they do that tomorrow, it's going to be just fine. We're going to have Kaylee and Scott. Now Kaylee and Georgia will play one tomorrow, and then we're going to put Breck with Alyssa, and then we're going to put Abby with Ella, because I think those are some doubles combinations we might use in the 3-2 lineup for
Right.
team day. So I was like, you know what, we need to get these guys experience, and that's going to be our lineup, and then we'll play our normal singles lineup without Breck up top tomorrow. And once we get that match done, we'll look forward to next Thursday.
Next Thursday. Now, you mentioned Breck, and that was it's called a walkover. Is
Yep.
what it's called in tennis.
And you know what? I just learned that this year.
Okay.
I've always marked everything down as a default.
Okay.
A default is when you've started the match.
Yep.
Then you default.
A serve has been made.
Serve
and
has been made.
it's
You
on
played a
there.
point.
Yep.
Then it's a default. But if something medical goes on or something that causes you not to even start the match, it's actually called a walkover. So
Yep.
yesterday's was a walkover because Breck never played a point of the singles match. So that's new terminology for me too.
Sort of like if you're a wrestling fan, it's like a medical forfeit in wrestling. If you got injured at another match, you can't go.
It's just a
Now,
matter.
does that go against her season record as well? Is
Yeah,
that one count as an L for her?
That one would count as an L. So
Okay.
since she was in the lineup, that one would count as a loss. But I mean, who's looking at individual wins-loss records? No, we're out to try to win an EDC title next Thursday. That's our number one goal. And then after Thursday, our goal is to qualify as many kids as possible and to finish as high in the individuals as possible. So we just one thing at a time. And you know what? Anything up until this point, yeah, all the accolades are great and everything's great. But you know what?
Right.
It's not what have you done for me?
Exactly.
No, it's what are you doing for me now? What are you doing for me on Thursday?
Right.
That's what it's going to be. So no one's going to care about our win-loss record come Thursday. They're going to be out to get us, and
Yep. The target is on the
the
back.
target's there.
It's right there. You know, this group seems to be, in my opinion, and last night was an example, a relatively humble group. I asked them to stand last night at the ball game and be recognized. They didn't want to.
No, they didn't want to.
They didn't want to. Finally, Breck had to,
Yep, she got up
Breck
and
was
went,
Breck.
and then a couple other.
And then
My
your
daughters,
were on the hill standing.
they went up and stood too.
But I mean, that's back-to-back state conference champs, and I looked it up. It's been not a lot of back-to-back conference championships for Highlanders in any sport.
Well, and I think wrestling was probably the most recent.
The most recent would have been gymnastics in
Sorry, yep,
2022,
yep, sorry,
and
gymnastics.
2021 for wrestling.
So
Yeah.
I mean, those are great programs, and I'm glad we can put our name right with those great programs. Of we've done something 2 years in a row. You know, once they say it's a fluke, two, there's something to it.
Right. It's something to think about. But now it's the East Region coming up after Wahpeton next week in Fargo, and then the state tournament will be in Grand Forks, as it usually is. A lot of confidence though with this team right now, Matt.
I think so, and some big things. I mean, Georgia Zahn is undefeated in the EDC. She hasn't lost a singles match or a doubles match, so that's huge. Kaylee beat Summerfeld and Lohman, so that's going to help her confidence. And Sky having that West Fargo invite run, like her confidence pretty high too. And I think we'll probably play those three a lot in our 3-2 lineup in singles. Yep. And I think they're all excited for it. I think they're all prepped for it. They're mentally there. They've felt it, so I'm excited for them. And then a lot of times in our 3-2 lineup, like I said, we're probably going to put Breck at 1 doubles with Alyssa, and we'll probably put Abby Martinick at 2 doubles with Ella Olson. So we're working those, and Breck and Abby can take over matches in a 3-2 lineup. And I think our team is going to be mentally ready, and they're really excellent at just being in the moment. And I was just talking today that we could easily be 7-3 this year. We could have, like I said, that Dickinson match.
Yeah.
We had 2 points where we could have lost it. Red River, Kaylee had to win a third set. Like if she loses that third set, we lose to there. Yeah. And the other one is at Fargo Davies. It was Georgia Zahn was out there as 4-4. And it was 3-3, and that's when we had to move it inside.
That's right.
We had to move it inside, so it's 3-3 in the third set. So, like, it's 3 more games to decide the overall. So, I mean, Georgia, like, the other girl could have caught fire, and maybe we don't win this one. So, I mean, we easily could be 7-3, but since our kids, they've been there, done that. They're mentally tough. They can play right in the moment. They're extremely coachable. And we really preach that you have to be okay with losing. If you're okay with losing, you can perform in the moment. But as soon as you're like, I can't lose, then your body tightens up and then you don't play the way you want to. You got to go, no, we're just playing this next point. I don't care if I win or lose, but I need to play this next point the best I can. And if you focus on that, then you can control right now. You can't control the future.
Right.
You can't control what's happened in the past.
Right.
You can control here, and they have bought in, and they are all playing in the moment, which is, I think, why we've come out on top on a lot of 3-set matches, a lot of tie breaks. It seems like we're the ones coming out on top this year.
Well, it's been an exciting year, and it's still a lot more tennis to be played here over the next 2 weeks.
Well, it's funny because we're 10-0, but I laugh because if we go if we do qualify for state, we have 17 matches left, right? Because you have tomorrow, and then you have 3 at the individual or the team day of region, and then 3 on the team day of state. So really, we are 10-0, but we still got another 40% of our wins losses are still yet to be decided.
Still out there.
You're still out
They're
there.
still out there ready to go.
Yep.
All right. Well, Matt, again, congratulations for you and the team and all your great coaches. You got a great coaching staff. Had another EDC championship, and now let's see what we can do here down the line in next week.
Perfect. Thank you, Paul.
We appreciate it. That is Matt Nielsen, head coach of the Highlander Tennis. Back and wrap things up here in Coach's Corner from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here on Coach's Corner on the Highlander Activity Network as we wrap up another edition of Coach's Corner and just get you caught up on what's going on with Highlander Golf. They were on the road. They're actually playing again tomorrow as they'll be up at the Grand Forks Country Club in a meet that's being hosted by Central. They're down at Bois de Sioux in Wahpeton here last night. And, boy, another one of those nights where the weather wasn't quite good for golf. And there's a lot of high scores. Andrew Tangen carded a 90 to lead the Highliners in last night's meet. And, again, they're going to be in Grand Forks here tomorrow. Next week, they are at the Fargo Country Club, and they're going to be wrapping things up with the EDC and State. Both are going to be at Kings Walk in Grand Forks. And, of course, Andrew Tangen has already qualified for State at State Golf after his 77 that he had at the Detroit Lakes Country Club. Softball, they're on a roll right now. The Highlanders have won 4 out of their last 5. The 2 wins in a row, Monday and Tuesday at home, both in walk-off fashion. Scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning to defeat Fargo Davies 5-4, and then came up with a 4 spot in the bottom of the 7th against Grand Forks Central last night and won 12-11. And their 2 wins has now put them in the EDC tournament. They will be in the EDC tournament regardless of what happens with their final game. But a win against Fargo Shanley here on Friday night. And these games, again, are at Valley City State University on the Viking softball complex. If they can beat Shanley, and if Devils Lake loses, then the Highlanders will find themselves in that number 5 spot. I don't think they can get any higher than 5. But they'll definitely be in the number 5 spot when the East Region Tournament begins here next week. And that'll be actually at the end of the month, not next week, but the end of the month is, which basically is next week. And so the Highlander softball and Coach Autumn Perry and their crew are playing great softball right now. Winners of 4 or 5, 2 in a row, and they'll be at home senior night here on Friday as they take on Fargo Shanley. Again, those games up at Valley City State at the Viking softball complex. So we've got graduation coming up next weekend. That's how much it's almost done. No show for Coach's Corner next week. We have Baccalaureate is going to be going on here at the Hack, so we will not have a Coach's Corner next Wednesday. So the next thing you'll see from Highlander TV Network will be graduation coming up here on the 25th of May right here at the Hack. It's all set up, ready to go. It's just waiting for the 72 graduates to walk across the stage and get their diplomas here from Valley City High School. We'll be back again probably in a couple of weeks, but stay tuned for more Coach's Corner. But again, graduation is next on the list coming up on Saturday. My thanks to our guests tonight, Alex Cleaver and Seth Soderholm from Highlander Baseball, Trevor Bacalar from Highlander Track and Field, and of course Matt Nielsen from Highlander Tennis, Jaden Johnson, our technical director, cameraman, and of course you for joining us each and every Wednesday for Coach's Corner right here on the Highlander Activity Network.